Oh, you know what I forgot? Guys, everyone hold on a second here. I forgot I got a guest, so I got thrown off of my normal intro. Hold on one second here. Almost there. Here we go. Here we go.
We can jam out some music.
It looks like my Rocky music got private all of a sudden. What the heck's going on here? Let's see here. This is funny. This is what's called having a bad show is like. All right, come on. It's not even, come on. It's taking me to YouTube and it's not playing it. Rocky song, go. It's not letting me play it anymore for some reason. That's crazy. Let's see here. I must have played it too much or worn out the thing. It's not letting me play it anymore. That's nuts.
You want to sing it for everyone?
Now, hold on. Let me see if I can get it here. Let me see if I can get it here. There we go. All right, so now I gotta share. Oh, it's not giving me the share button. Share. So you're sharing it. Why am I not able to share the damn thing? All right, everybody, thank you for joining Chat with Chad. We are having technical difficulties like I anticipated. I am not able to share my own show. What is up with that? So let me see here on StreamYard if there's something on here that I can do to share this show over there. You were able to share it. How are you able to share it?
I don't see a way to share.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't see a way to share.
It says, okay, it was shared here. Somewhere on here, I'm able to share it. Here we go. Mark, copy link, edit post, save video. It's crazy. So, I was told you could do this. And here we go. Let's see here. Give me a minute or two here. I was told you did it in here. The procedure I had, I was supposed to be able to share this, and I'm not. So let me try this. Let me go to Chimney World. It's not being shared there. Go back over here. So I may have to show this thing later. Let me see here. It says I'm sharing it to myself. Stop camera. In stream. Edit. The stream is already live. Save changes. Let me try that again. Edit. See if I can add it now. Add it to Facebook page, profile, LinkedIn. It's not giving it to me. All right. Well, guys, I'll have to share this video to Chimney World after the fact and do it that way because I don't see a way to get this shared over there. I can comment, but it's not allowing me to share. And so let me try one thing real quick. And I know this is why we do live shows, trying to figure this out. I'm going to call a buddy of mine who did this, who told me how to do it. He was on a plane earlier. Let's see if he's off the plane. And we'll just see how this goes because I really want to do this live.
What's going on, homie?
Hey, man, I'm live on my show, and I can't get it to share. How do I share this sucker over to my group?
So you got to go into, so you're live on your personal feed, right?
I am.
All right. So if you're on, like, Facebook on your phone, on the live feed, like, where you can see the live feed, but you're not, like, clicked into it where you can comment, there's going to be three dots in the upper right corner of, like, where it shows you as live.
Yep.
If you go into there in privacy settings, you can change it to be public. I think it's called privacy.
Is it an edit audience or edit post?
Edit post. No. There should be a privacy setting.
Let me see here. Okay, it's not an edit post. Let's see here. Edit live video.
I don't think so. Wonder. I'm logging onto my Facebook right now, so
It's not giving me the share button on it. That's why I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah, you gotta change. I know you need to change the privacy settings on it. Let me see. All right, there I am.
I mean, there's a copy link. Can I copy the link and then go put it in a group?
Are you live on it right now?
Yeah, I'm live right now.
Looking at the live feed.
I'm live right now.
Okay. I'm looking at an old one that I did, and it won't let me change the settings on that.
Hold on. I think it worked. I think I'm about to be live on there. Hold on. You copy the link, and I'm on it. It worked. So you go up into the three buttons. You go up into the three buttons, and you hit copy link, and then you copy it over to your group. And now I'm live in my group. I can see.
There we go.
Well, yeah, it's working. I'm in. Hey, Chimney World. Say hey. Thanks, Dan. You are the bomb.
I'm coming over to heckle you.
All right, cool. Thanks. Bye. All right, let's try that again. We figured out how to go live in a group, and so anyone who wants to know how to do it, you can. I'll show you how to do it later. But we are live. Chat with chat. Thank you for showing up tonight. We'll start getting some viewers here currently or soon, I'm sure. I don't know if anyone's showing. If you're in Chimney World, if you're going to see it now, if I'm going to be able to see your comments on StreamYard. I know I'll be able to see your comments because I'm on there right now watching the comments. And so I'm going to watch your comments as they're coming through on another screen here. I got all these screens going on. And so our guest tonight, the infamous, the Ohio master of all chimney sweeps that I know of, Corey Terry Flowers. Hey, Corey.
Hey. Howdy doody.
I'm doing good. So you reached out to me, said you wanted to you got something special going on, and it was about insurance. I know you've been really big in insurance. So before we get into exactly what you do, tell everybody who you're. Not everybody knows who you are, obviously.
Okay.
So tell us who you are, what you do, and where you're doing it.
I'm more than looking forward to introducing myself, but I'm told that the content showing is unavailable at the moment on the Chimney World. I just sent it to somebody.
Well,
we might not be out of the technical difficulty department yet.
We're not. Well, I'm looking at it on my deal, and Jesse commented. What's Jesse commenting? Let's see here. Hold on.
I can't see it. He says can't see it.
Can't see it.
Check the privacy setting, maybe.
On where?
I don't know.
What the heck is your new group? No, it's not in there, Dan. Privacy. Turn on something. Turn down comments. Hide post. Save video. Add chat as group expert. Edit post. Let's see. Edit post. So it's not letting me do anything there. So Jesse can't see. I see it. And I see it on mine. So I don't understand how.
I put up the group as well myself, and I can see Jesse's comment. I can see how it's not coming up live. You might have the settings set to only you.
Let me see here. It's got to be in here then. Edit post. Turn off notifications. Turn off. Slow down comments. Feedback. I don't have any options to do anything else. Let me see here. CC your settings. Quality CC there. So nobody else can see us but us. Huh? So what I'm thinking, we just do the show.
All right.
I'll have it on my personal feed, and then I will share it when I'm done. So,
Okay.
So let's just go, and then we'll figure this all out later. Chimney World. Chimney World. I think Dan Plot is in there. All right. So anyway, I know where we're at right now. Technical difficulties. I knew I was going to have this. I did get it to share. I see it on me, but I do not see it on anybody else. And I don't really want to go more into this. Let's get into our show because I'm pretty sure. Let's see. These admin. I see all their admins just now. It's a private group. I think I'm done messing with this thing. It's just going to have to be what it is. And I'll fix it and share it later. All right. So tell us who you are. Let's go from there because
All right.
I don't have time to deal with this anymore.
Gotcha. So I'm Corey. I'm the owner of the Ohio Chimney Company. I'm a third-generation mason and certified chimney sweep. I've been doing chimney work since I was about 12 years old. You know, Dad get in that fireplace and sweep it. I got two strapping young lads that are 14, and the other one turned 17 today on May Day, which is pretty cool, chimney sweep day.
Yeah.
So I see them getting into it to some degree, but I have dealt with all aspects of the chimney industry, masonry, prefabs, fireplaces, scaffolding, insurance. I've been handling the insurance aspect of the company long before I took it over. I took the family business over in 2018. But I'd say I've been dealing with insurance for a little bit more than a decade. And how that has changed in the last decade has been pretty drastic.
Yeah.
So because of everything that I've experienced, a couple years ago, Jim Ferguson said, "Hey, you should teach this at the National Chimney Sweep at a couple of these events here that we have." So I put my name in the hat, and they asked me to teach, and it went over great. And I've been teaching it for the last 3 years. This subject matter. And I have helped a lot of people get messages all the time from people that were in the class. "Hey, I got a unique situation. What do I do?" And I've been talking about doing it for a long time. And I'm finally going to teach a remote class. I'm going to do it via Zoom. Of course, there's a fee associated with it. It's on the screen. You have it here, May 13th. I got an early bird set up that was supposed to expire, but because you have me on the show, I extended it through to tomorrow night at midnight for $225, and then after it's $275. But honestly, if you use any of this information, you're going to make your money back instantaneously. I'm confident of it. I'll throw some zeros on it even. But for this particular setting, I wanted to bring up a scenario as an example. I reached out to the people that are already marked as attending the class about what are your most complicated insurance situations? What are you really frustrated with and feels like a dead end? Because that's what insurance loves to do. They love to scare their customer. They love to delay to hopefully the customer will just give up. And they like to lie too and say things that are untrue. To get the customer to think that, okay, this is a dead end, or even get the chimney sweep to think it's a dead end.
What's that movie with Danny DeVito and Matt Damon, whether the insurance movie? What is that movie? That sounds exactly. I mean, what you're saying. Let me go, Danny.
Maybe I should go watch it.
You've never seen that movie?
I don't think so.
Matt Damon. I bet you've seen it. Let's see here. The Rainmaker. You never seen The Rainmaker? You need to watch it.
I saw Rain Man, $100.
No, The Rainmaker.
$100.
It's an awesome movie.
$100.
It is an awesome movie, and you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out that it is the type of movie that is exactly what you're talking about, exactly how you keep going after him and keep going from there. So there's my buddy Dan, and,
What's up?
and so I brought him on, and hopefully we can talk a little bit about insurance, and then we can get into stuff with Dan later. Right now, Dan, we got my buddy on here, Corey, talking about how to get insurance jobs in chimneys. And
Insurance is where it's at these days.
it is.
Insurance is where it's all at. I can tell because mine keeps going up. That's all I know.
Nice. All right, so I reached out to the people attending the class, and this was the best example that I could get that seemed like it would be a dead end. I'm going to read it out to you. So
Hit it.
this guy called out to have the chimney inspect to do a large hailstorm.
Oh, we lost you. We lost your mic.
Yeah, that audio got real quiet.
Your audio got bad.
That's weird. Can you hear me now?
Not better. Corey,
I'm working on it.
we hear you, but it just all of a sudden you went into a cave. You got sucked into a cave.
What
Yeah.
about this?
No, it's feeding off of a different microphone
Yeah, we
somewhere.
lost the force.
Oh, no.
It's feeding from a weird microphone somewhere. I'm sure mine is too.
No, yours is loud and clear. Mr.
I'm-
Me,
well-
you have the loudest two voices in a
I
restaurant.
was gonna say I'm just loud. I don't get in trouble.
How about now? Is it better if I turn that down?
No.
Damn.
I mean, we can hear you, but it is like turn your volume all
Check
the way
1, 2.
Oh
Is
yeah.
that better?
Back there.
You did it.
You're
All right.
back.
I think the headset will do it.
There you
So,
go.
okay. Man, technicaldifficulty.com today, huh?
I'm telling you.
So, called out to inspect the chimney due to large hailstorm and insurance looking to repair. During the inspection, also observed that not only hail damage, but evidence of a significant sudden occurrence event. Chimney has an old slammer insert, no direct liner, lots of combusted creosote observed along with stage 3 creosote and liquefied glazing. Top flue tile is busted due to wind and tennis ball hail. Insurance company says they will not cover it because the house was not worth the cost. They said the repairs cost too much for the home value and declined. Customers have been fighting with insurance company and the adjuster. Adjuster said I was committing fraud and making up reports. Insurance also told owner they were lying about the issue. Customer filed complaint through the state, and then a few months later, insurance company advised they were being dropped as a customer. Customers stated that because they're not with the insurance company any longer, they don't know if anything can be done. So in this example, they've thrown 2 or 3 no's at the customer. And so addressing some of these, it's a fun thing. Opinions, if you go to most people and you read that off to them, they're gonna be like, yeah, it sounds like a dropped call. Like Chad, you said that yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like
totally.
you would move on and not worry about this. And
I don't know
okay.
if I move on. I mean, I think I was saying just to me, it's I would be telling the customer, I mean, you're in the fight. I'm willing to help you, but this is me. This is what we do in our company. But I mean, and we'll take it as far as you like. And I'm not going to give up. But the same aspect, I have to run a business too. And so if they're not even going to talk or play ball with us, that's where I would kind of go, leave it into their ball court. You have other options, so let's hear them.
Yeah. So off the front end, looking at the photos that they sent me on this claim, they had like an Extendaflue cap, and the wind took that cap, and all the tiles in this system are busted and broken. There's definitely pyrolyzed creosote in the system. It's kind of the most obvious chimney fire type claim situation for a chimney fire claim if you want. But 2 things are going on here. One, there is a chip on the tile from the cap blowing off. All right. And that is part of the wind damage claim. And I don't know if there's a roof associated with this claim or not. I believe there is from some of the other details. So they're trying to get the chimney taken care of as well. But if this does turn into a dead end for this claim, the customer has the right to file a claim for a chimney fire. Those are two separate claims. Okay. Does the insurance company owe to make this system right because a cap blew off and damaged the top tile? And as far as I'm concerned, you have to go to your building codes and how can you repair this? What's the repairability? To replace a tile, the only way to replace a tile is to meet the ASTM requirements, is to meet the NFPA requirements for laying tile, which the tile has to be laid ahead of the construction of the chimney as it's carried up. You have to use a non-water soluble mortar. And to do these things, you have to demo the chimney and open it up. The top tile is broken. There's a crack all the way through it. And so is the second tile and the third tile. And I don't know how many tile are in this. Let's assume there's 12. All 12 tile are shattered. I can't adhere a new good tile to a bad tile. Right. So to replace this liner, you have to replace all the liner. The insurance company, that this would be very easy to argue that the insurance company owes because of the wind damage, because the top tile was indeed broken. It's not the customer's not a chimney sweep. They're not a building expert. They rely on their chimney sweep to come and inform them and let them know what's going on. And if the prior time the chimney sweep was out, none of this damage was there, then yeah, the damage that is there, the chimney fire could have happened since the last time the chimney sweep was there. They may have never, ever had a chimney sweep, and it doesn't even matter. But the point is that top tile is broken. To make that top tile right, you have to replace the entire liner system. With that, I have to lay the tile ahead of construction of the masonry as it's carried up. That means this gentleman that sent me this information can go to the customer and say, this insurance company technically owes you per building code to tear this chimney all the way down to at least the first flue tile and back up. Then that's just because that damage is obvious. There may be other damage that requires you to go further. And that wouldn't be a code upgrade because the liner is damaged, right? And they'll try to fight and say, oh, we only owe for, I've had this happen dozens of times where they'll send a forensic engineer out. And an engineer will say, oh, they only owe for replacing the liner only, just the tile. And that's where you hit them with the code. And depending on what state you're in, like I'm going to back up the bus a little bit to say every state has its own laws. There are NFPA states, there's IRC states, and it's important for you to know what state you're in. There's, I believe, one state that doesn't respect either of them. They have their own. My state, Ohio, is both. It respects both of them as law. I also want to back up another step from there and say I'm not a public adjuster. I'm not a lawyer. I am sharing and educating people about my experience.
Play one on StreamYard. Just play one on StreamYard.
Yeah. By the way,
yeah.
The whole show takes the responsibility. Anything Corey says.
Let me, while you're backing up.
These are not the opinions expressed by Chadwick or their other. Or
we'll just say it's all Dan Pilato's responsibility to go to if anything falls on him.
Yeah, I'm fine in the industry. I missed this, Corey. Did the fire already happen? Like there was a fire?
It's definitely been, but this claim all started because of damage from wind.
Okay.
And wind damage on a chimney, I would say, is pretty damn rare.
It's very rare.
Very rare. And it's usually because a cap was adhered to a tile and the tile might have been broken beforehand in some way, shape, or form. And that cap broke it further.
So to be clear, Dan,
fire or no fire, there would have been.
This is a situation where we show up in an inspection. There was the cap, I'm assuming, fell off, Corey, and we're showed up. We probably brought it to the guy's attention, or Corey did, that as he looked down, did a camera inspection, I'm sure found out the entire system is FUBAR. So, and the way tile.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard FUBAR in a long time.
The reason why the tiles are cracked is not because of the wind damage. is because there was a sudden occurrence event that happened that was an overheating or something to the tiles that popped the tiles. They all cracked and broke up. So with Corey, here's my question. I mean, all of this, I'm assuming, was done up front before the denial.
I haven't read. So this is actually one of my students who's going to be in one of my class coming up. This is his scenario, not mine, and not my customer. It's his customer. But I wanted to bring it up to the show so that he can hear some of this and some other people could hear. Here's a real situation I just got hit with yesterday that someone has a pretty hard dead end. What would I do with this? What would I recommend? What are my experiences with it? Remind me, what was your question?
Well, I mean, the reason, so I'm glad we're clarifying this, because if you're already doing insurance, I mean, the reason we also have you on, Corey, is to talk about how through this. In this particular scenario, sounds like more of a I'm about to talk to the insurance, or we did talk to the insurance, but he didn't present his case very well. And so we have to kind of get in, because like when I first read it and we talked about it, I mean, I read that you said that it was from a client of yours, all that. But to me, it was like, you've already been down the road and you've done all your due diligence and saying everything you're saying now.
No.
And that's why my response was, hey, the guy's insurance company dropped him, even though he's still covered for that time. You can fight it all you want, but you've already done all your due diligence. So you're going into the due diligence of what should have been done up front.
Yeah. So up front, this is a tough situation. What would I have started with? I've had almost the same example. I've had a customer who had a tree hit the house. The whole roof got replaced because of it. And the same tree hit the chimney. Now, this chimney, clearly prior to us getting there and clearly prior to the chimney being hit by the tree, had a massive chimney fire, probably more than one, probably a couple dozen. Like there's a crack all the way in the chase, all the way down into the attic. And it was, this chimney was sticking out of the roof, probably about 12, 13 feet. Larger chase too, pretty big.
Wow.
Well, it was a fight with the insurance adjuster to get anything covered at all. Technically, I should have been able to get it covered as a full rebuild, but this was also a couple years ago, and I didn't know then what I know now. And I was able to at least argue I need to at least take this down to the roof line, just below the roof line, and replace this crack. And then I can come back up. And I got the money for that. When we got the money for that, the customer changed his mind and said, hey, let's instead of rebuilding it up, and the customer has the right to do that, right? Because he didn't sign a contract with me how to do the work.
Yeah.
He said, hey, because he was using his fireplace as a wood burner and trying to choke the damper down to get heat out of a fireplace. And that doesn't work very well. So he had lots of creosote. And so his whole system, we were able to reutilize that same money to replace remove all the tile, install UL listed Class A that transitioned to a single wall down through the chase that wasn't all cracked, install a unit, and be able to make him whole in a way where he was actually making positive heat by burning wood instead of trying to hillbilly it up.
Right.
But knowing what I know now, I'd go in and either at least get some sort of payment, get them to agree, because they number one, we got to get them to agree to causation. Did this cause this damage? It's either yes or no. And that's when they'll get forensic engineers and whatnot if the bid's too big. Because that's a muddy situation, I'd get them to agree, hey, damage happened. I'd get out there, I'd say, hey, and unfortunately, a scenario like that, I'd probably bait and switch them. Get out there, hey, we found there's more damage than we could have anticipated. We're doing a level 3 because we have to demo this down to get this going. And we found all this other damage and it has to be replaced. When you already have the yes, it is much easier to get the addendum or supplemental than it is to get the initial yes. But there are many scenarios that I've had where I couldn't even get the yes. I had to fight for the yes. So that's where he's at right now, is fighting for the yes. Absolutely, 100%. It doesn't matter if the insurance company dropped the customer or not. That is a scare tactic to let the customer think there's nothing they can do. All right. He said this insurance company has done this to him a couple times, as they're known for it, and they
Man,
keep
sounds like
works.
a bad high school girlfriend. Bad high school girlfriend. Hey, I got from a nerdy finance guy that doesn't know shit about chimneys. Besides, I grew up in Wisconsin, so we always like burning wood. But what's the percentage of these jobs that are going through insurance companies in the first place? Like, how often are you getting roped into an insurance job on average? And when you get roped in, I'm curious too, how often it becomes you being the person like working with the insurance company and trying to get the yes versus the client working with their insurance person and trying to get the yes.
So, because I'm not a public adjuster, I can't file the claim for the customer. They got to file it themselves. I can talk with an adjuster, the customer's insurance adjuster.
Yeah.
I can show up when there's an inspection. I can talk about, repairability things and whatnot. And I can talk about what is the right way to do this work and fix it. For me and my company, insurance is a huge part. I'd say sometimes anywhere from about 40 to 65% of my work is insurance work.
Okay. Do you prefer that you kind of take the lead on that discussion so you can make sure you get it right versus kind of letting, Nancy run the show and like make shit up?
Again, we're the contractor. We're the ones making the recommendation that the insurance gets involved.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean, this isn't where we're getting roped in. We're roping the insurance company to get them on the hook to cover this, because in their policies, in the insurance codes, what we're pointing out is covered under their policy. And we have to get the insurance agents who don't know shit about the codes to get them to understand that this is covered under their policy. Mm-hmm. And that's where the fight begins. And that's exactly where that guy was, where Corey was just talking about that one thing, is they're denying it all left and right because it was started as a wind damage thing. There is damage to the flue tile. So honestly, Corey, if you ask me what I would do with that, is I would switch it and say, okay, this isn't a wind damage thing. I don't give a shit about the cap. I'm now here trying to figure out when this sudden occurrence occurred. You don't know the date, so we know it occurred since before. You can't tell me when the date is, and that's where you get into, well, it's covered because we don't know. The date of discovery is yesterday, last week, whenever it was. Date of discovery is now the official date of the occurrence because we don't know when it was.
Yeah, the only reason I would hesitate to do that is kind of a favor to my customer. When you have multiple claims within a certain amount of time, that's when you get an issue of dropping. But because this insurance company already dropped them.
Already dropped them.
Already done.
Yeah. They made a movie about that. Double Jeopardy. That's Double Jeopardy.
No, Double Jeopardy is when you killed them and then you went and killed them again.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
You get paid on the same thing twice.
This is the movie I'm talking about, The Rainmaker.
Oh, okay.
They go after their asses. Right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I first would push the wind thing just to see where we can get it, because wind is not a common one, and I've had a few of them. I've had a few rebuilds because of wind. I think 2. Not common. But chimney fire's a lot more common. That's a lot of what we're doing is chimney fire stuff. There's other things like lightning trucks.
Corey, did the customer tell you what the explanation was of the denial?
I didn't ask for the insurance company's communications. Usually they'll send like a letter or like an official thing in the mail or an email followed by a snail mail. When I kind of come back and answer your question, do I want to be on the front end? Absolutely. Ideally, my inspection report should be able to communicate everything that I could potentially say, but because these scenarios can get very muddy, because there's so much niche information that, again, the insurance agent, the insurance adjuster, sometimes even the forensic engineer that comes out is just a structural engineer with the PE designation, and they're investigating all kinds of different fire scenarios. They're not chimney experts either. So there's oftentimes we'll come out and none of these people have any idea, or if they have an idea, they might have only some of what we're talking about. So they'll ask questions that we might not have been able to anticipate. ideally, my inspection report can answer the questions before they can ask them. But again, niche situation, it's not always the case that you can answer all the questions until they come up.
What's your another scenario you got?
So let's see, coming through.
My beer's empty, so that's my scenario. I got to grab my beer quick.
So they said that they wouldn't cover it because the cost of repairs was not, the house wasn't worth the cost of repairs. That's completely bogus.
Yeah.
So I have had it where an insurance claim exceeded the cost of the limits of the policy on the home, where the repair indeed was more than what the house is worth.
Right.
He showed me his estimate was at like 20 grand, and it wasn't for a rebuild. It was for a retrofit. It was to tear the tile out, put a liner in it, a new unit, and some other work. Whereas I see that, and I'm going to go in there whole hog and just bid to replace it, depending on the insurance company. I used to send pre-damage condition and retrofit bids together and say, hey, this one's a hell of a lot cheaper. I can do it a lot faster, and I'm actually making a little more profit than this one. Let's do this one. It's a win-win for everybody. But the problem is they pick it apart. They try to call it code upgrade, and they try to nickel and dime the retrofit because that's not what the customer had. When you go in with what the customer had prior to damage, it goes through so much smoother, although it's a bigger number because they can't argue against it. But I told him you should go to your county auditor's site and look up the home value. And potentially, he I don't know if he's got the declaration page of the insurance or not. He's got to get that. But to see where the coverage limits are, to see if this, to also show the customer, his customer, that the insurance agent is completely lying to them because they're covered for this much money. Fire damage is fire damage. Fire damage is covered. Or wind damage. Damage to the home is damage to the home. That's coverage A. You get into coverage B, C, D, and all these other code upgrade and whatnot. That's what my class talks about, some of those things. I'm not going to get into that now. But coverage A, what was damaged needs to be replaced up to the value of the home. So to say, okay, there's not a lot of places where a house is worth 20 grand.
Yeah, that's where my mind is spinning. How are you being? I mean, really, this house is only worth 20 grand, or let's just say it's worth 50%, so it's 40 grand. Really?
Yeah, they can't tell you, oh, it's worth 50% of the house, so we're not going to do it. They can't do that. The coverage that they gave to your customer is what they're held to. That is the agreement that they made. They said, here's the contract. And the customer said yes, and they signed a check. And them accepting their terms of the contract is cashing the check. So they are bound, everyone's bound by the customer and insurance companies bound by that contract as written by the insurance company. They have to adhere to that.
I think in your first scenario, the guy's got a fight on his hands if they've dropped him. And I don't know, he's still covered, but he's got a fight on his hands. I mean, they're going to deny. Now, I don't know how much of the pre-work was done properly, the way we already know how to deal with the insurance companies. And so, and this is first case. Okay. But I mean, like, that to me is, if they've just dropped them, they're already denying you. That's when to me, you could go send them all the right information if it wasn't there. And then I'd be telling my clients, like, listen, we're preaching to nobody listening, to empty church here. Really, you're at the point where you're going to have to find an attorney to do this. I mean,
so before I would get an attorney, I'd probably get a public adjuster. They take a percentage of the claim. And I talk about that in the class, about the different public adjusters that I've had experience with and the whole range there, what their job is. Public adjuster knows all the laws if they have public adjusters in that state. They know all the laws that the insurance company has to hold to, and the insurance company knows that the public adjuster knows all the laws, and they're typically licensed to be able to hold them to it. So they don't play those games. They can't say, oh, we're not going to deny it because it's half the cost of the home or exceeds the value of the home. They know they can't get away with that with the public adjuster.
And that's better advice, and that's why you're on the show. And I'm not talking about insurance, because you're right. Get the public adjuster involved first, and then let him tell you, go get a lawyer. if he gets there.
And in my experience, if you are able to get a yes and get some money for the job, okay, there's a process called appraisal that I talk about in the class that you can use the appraisal process to say if it's not bid right, to make sure that, you know, the customer has to pick an appraiser, the insurance company picks an appraiser, they get together, those two appraisers, they get together and they have to agree on a third appraiser called an umpire. And between those two guys, if they can't agree, they'll kick it to umpire, and 2 out of 3 guys have to agree on a number, and then it's the law. The insurance has to pay that number out. So hopefully you hire a guy that's not retarded. They will hire a guy that's retarded. And then between them, I have a trick for how to make sure the third guy's not retarded. So you have 2 smart guys up against the retard, and you're good.
Okay, so let's do this. You're on here because your value of your show and your knowledge. So tell us, break down your class. What's your class really going to do for me if I come to your class? What are you teaching me?
I'm going through basically the ABCs of what coverages, what type of coverages are there, what type of claims can happen with chimneys. I'm specific just to the chimney stuff. That's all I really do. I've started learning about the roofing things recently and branching a little bit to the near rhymes because we have to deal with roofing. So we might as well know if does this need to be a whole roof replacement? What are the tricks for that? So I can take care of my customer yeah, I'm in business to make money, put something in the company pocket, but I'm going to teach you how to go against a company that is lowballing, right? Because the insurance company wants to hire Bobby down the road, or with the rusty truck and a ladder and a brush or just some Joe Blow Mason that doesn't know the fire code to come out and give a low blow bid. I'm going to teach you how to fight that and how to fight it pretty easily, to be honest. I'm going to tell you what to expect, how to help give your customer expectation of what to expect so that you can predict the future a little bit with your customer, so that when they send a guy out that says no, they don't go, oh, I can't do nothing. Oh, they denied me. I have to go get another insurance, and be scared, right? So how to give your customer the confidence that you are now the expert, okay, in the scenario. You know what to do to guide them through the scenario. And if that means hiring another person, such as an appraiser, a public adjuster, hell, I've hired my own engineers before. And sometimes that's the right thing to do. I'm going to help you try to, because it's not black and white, in my opinion. It's a dance. You let them take a step. How do you respond to that? And to give, my class typically is about an hour and a half to 2. This Zoom class I'm doing is 3.5 hours, and that is to allow plenty of time to go over real world scenarios so that you can get a feel for when to bring this entity in, when to say no, it's a this type of case, how to guide through and handle the whole niche industry that we have.
Corey, I got a question for you. And an appropriate answer might be, hey, why don't you sign up for the class and come to the class and I'll tell you. But I'm curious, is there a tipping point where you'd walk away from a job? And would it be the job itself that would cause you to walk away, or the client being a loony bin that would cause you to walk away, or the insurance company being a total turd that would cause you to leave, or some combination thereof?
I have a hard on for fighting the insurance companies. That's never.
That won't be the reason to walk away.
That's never the case.
You definitely walk away from the loony customers for sure.
I don't know, man. The situations that I usually walk away from, I usually take some time from. I don't usually walk away 100%. Typically, I might tap in and say, hey, I haven't seen any movement. You might want to contact them yourself or do this, that, and the other thing. Sometimes it falls off because, it takes too long. That's one of the reasons I don't like to get a lawyer involved, is because lawyer involved usually means the case is going to take 2 or 3 years before it's settled. And nobody wants that. I've got a few of those. Too many of those, to be honest. So learning all this other stuff to help you not have to deal with that is ideal.
What's me? I've run a bookkeeping business, so I gotta hit the numbers side of it. What's the timeline of cash flows when you're doing insurance jobs? My understanding of when you get the insurance company involved is there's quite a lag of when you get paid versus when you have expenses. So how do you deal with that?
Charge enough.
Well, I mean, I can answer the question. I mean, when we do an insurance job, I mean, it can take. I mean, if we get a quick approval, I mean, it doesn't take long. I mean, you're getting paid within the month.
Okay.
If there's a covered loss, they usually cut the check pretty quick. That's true.
Yeah.
What can slow it down is if there's a mortgage company involved. Sometimes that can slow things down because they have to put their endorsements and whatnot. If they require 1099s, and there's some of that. Every insurance company is a little different on how they do it. Every mortgage company, if they get involved, is a little different on how they want it. Sometimes they want your proposal. Sometimes they want some information before they'll cut a check. Some of them are real micromanagers, and they want you to explain it to them as if they have a say-so in whether it was a chimney fire or not, which is, I've only had that once where I had to break the whole thing down to them. Like, this has already been covered by the insurance company. Like, give me my money so I can do my job.
What's like a normal expectation? Should it 45 days on average, and if it hits 60, you should go start knocking on some doors, or what's the protocol?
The customer at that point, they know that they're getting a check. They'll usually update you when the check comes in, or if it hasn't come, they're a little more frantic usually than I am because I'm busy. And they want to get it done ASAP. Always, that's always the case. They want it done yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you haven't got the check within a month, I'd be surprised.
Okay.
And they're not going to always pay the full amount. Some do, some don't. Some have stipulations to be giving you
the old classic underpay. The old classic underpay and make you come and ask for the rest.
That's true. That's true. And they have they have terms, which I teach the terms and what they expect with that as well.
Cool.
Well, sometimes the insurance will hold back 10% till you're done, and they want to see.
I've seen them hold 40%, 50%, 5%. ACV, RCV. They want to make sure that the work actually got done, and they're allowed to hold back a certain amount. They call it depreciation. So, this confuses customers too. Homeowners, they don't realize, they're like, oh, it's depreciated. I can't have the whole job done because they only gave me 60% of the funds. So is there something we could do different? It's good to know. Oh no, depreciation doesn't mean what they are making it sound like. When you have the work actually done, they have to pay the balance. You just have to prove you did it.
Yeah.
It's a picture.
Are there insurance companies where when a client's working with a certain insurance company, you're like, oh yeah, we'll do this one. This one's like, I know how to work with them. I'm used to working with them. And somewhere you're like, oh shit, maybe we don't want to work with this one.
I have not had an insurance company that maybe not want to move forward. But again, I'm confrontational with them. I want to make them do their job so I could do mine, because after seeing the industry change so much, the insurance, how to handle that, I really like to see it go back to the way it was. And since I won't, the only way to make them realize that we are a legitimate industry, just like the roofers that go door to door, they get all kinds of claims left and right. Why are they giving us such a hard time when we have a very legitimate claim? The only way to get them to start respecting us is to hit them in the pocketbook. And so that's the source of my vendetta with them is, I used to be able to say, hey, here's a claim. I didn't need no engineers sent out. We didn't need no nothing. They sent an adjuster out, talked to an adjuster. Hey, this is what happened. This is real. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Wrote the check. Get the job done. Now I have to go through this. If you're going to put me through a bunch of work, I'm going to make sure you're paying me for it. There are differences in approach with different insurance companies. There's a couple insurance companies where when I see their name pop up, I'm like, yes, I need to write the bid this certain way. Yeah. I can't do the work that way, but I have to write the bid that way. Mm-hmm. And I have to let the customer know that. And then we can push it through.
Your approach is to punch them in the face. And I think I think more of the approach, which will soften up with it, is kind of the bigger picture of punching in the face. The more chimney companies start having more claims, and it becomes more of a standard type of claim that they know how to handle, and they start losing a lot more. You are saying get them in the pocketbook, but I mean, we've had very few same adjusters again. Now we had a scenario in 21, 3 years ago, whatever, maybe even 20. I don't remember, during COVID. I don't know, but where this wasn't so much that it was we had gotten served, or at least the insurance company had. I don't remember what. It was a job that we had done like 2017, and it was a pier and beam house, and they had a fire in the floorboards and under the floor, and they had a pretty good claim, and it burned a lot of the house on the inside, and not down, but a lot of smoke damage and everything. And luckily, the former employee that worked for me took enough pictures to prove what happened. They took out the hearth extension and put the wood floors right up to the fireplace. When we left, they had a hearth extension, so they took it out. Which is the hearth is what you. If you want to know what the hearth extension is, that's what you sit on, Dan. That's the.
I can picture it, man. It's the thing my kids always get hurt jumping around on. Yeah.
Well, these people took it out, got new floors on a pier and beam, and so it was an easy.
I hope they had a lot of lacquer there too.
Hold on.
Lacquer isn't flammable at all. Yeah.
When we showed up, here's where the funny moral of the story is. The other insurance, the one that was suing us, their claims adjuster or their representative, we had just done a $30,000 job on his house. And when we showed up, he looked at John, my general manager. I know you guys. You guys did on my house. You guys did an awesome job. We like walked in the door like, we had no idea what we were getting into yet, because anytime you don't see anything up front, and as soon as they walked in, John's like, this is totally different fireplace, in the front than what we dealt with, and here's the picture, and had his tablet out and showed him, like, this is what it looked like when we left. That isn't what it looked like now, and so it was a quick appointment.
Yeah, anyway. Good for you. Yeah, insurance, they don't. Sometimes they play nice, and if they play nice, I play nice. And if they don't play nice, there's ways to make it worth your time.
Well, I mean, it's just all about your knowledge and how you do it. And that's the whole point of your program, right? Is to give everybody the knowledge on how to fight, who to find to help fight. Public adjusters are free; they don't cost you a dime. They cost the customer if they get a claim, and that's it. Now that might be different in other states, but I know in Texas and most of the states I deal with, and I've talked to some of these other claims adjusters, it doesn't cost the contractor any money at all. So
I mean, the PA is. I've learned a ton from the PA that I use. A couple that I've experienced. What a good PA and a bad PA can look like, and I teach about that too. This particular guy that sent me this scenario, a PA, if you're newer to dealing with insurance and you're scared, you don't want to do the wrong thing, maybe get a hold of a PA and push it all to them until you start learning how to handle some of it on your own. But the more hands in the pot, the less soup. So that being able to handle it and get the customer through on your own is always makes it smoother. The more hands in it also make it take longer. You get a public adjuster, it takes longer than if we just got it through without one. You get a lawyer involved, that's 2-3 years. You get a appraiser involved, sometimes that can take a while too. So, yeah. I wish I knew 10 years ago what I know now, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm teaching the class, is so that people can know not just what I know now, but how it's changed, so that they can get an idea of how it may change, how to keep up on it, and what to do to help their customers in today's world, no matter what state you're in.
Well, that's a good way to close the show. Is there anything else you want to talk about the insurance?
You got till midnight tomorrow night to get in before the early bird.
So everybody, if you read my banner, it says early bird sign up is between now and tomorrow night at midnight. Special offer for coming on Chat with Chad, $225. After that, it's up until May 13th. It's $275.
That's a good 2 cases of beer deal.
The link is in there. Let me see. Can you put the link? Did you put the link on the post? When I post this, the Chimney World, see if this works when we're done. Go back in there and put the post on it there.
You got it.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Well, you got a birthday to go to. Tell your son happy birthday.
You got it.
And me and Dan are going to stick on around for another minute and chit chat about beer and bookkeeping.
Yeah.
You're welcome to stay if you like, but
no, my kid's probably got something bougie planned, so I'm gonna.
All right, cool.
You should probably do that. Yeah, kiddo birthday.
All right.
Be there.
All right.
Peace.
See ya, Corey. Yeah, guys, that was Corey. He did a great job. He's been doing a class. I know personally he's been doing insurance jobs for 3 years. I remember when he first started getting into big insurance jobs, and it did change his business.
Corey knows his shit. I don't do anything with chimneys, Chad, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to show up to that class. Like, I feel like I'm gonna learn some shit. I'm just a bookkeeper, man. I don't know, but
great day. Are you having a show next? Are you?
No, I'm down in San Diego, which is why I'm like in a hotel.
Oh, that's right. You said you were on a plane this morning.
Sean Day's back behind me. He's down here with me too.
Gotcha.
And we got a social hour to go to in 5 minutes. I assume it's open bar. It better be open bar, but.
Well, let's talk about your services. You showed up. Let's talk about you. What is Dan Plata up to nowadays?
I got best damn book. Wait, the camera's reversed. It's on this side.
Under Armour. There you go.
Best damn
beer keeping.
Best damn beer keeping. That'll be the next business. Best damn beer keeping.
Best damn bookkeeping.
But mostly I came to help you figure out the StreamYard thing, but you and I should like separately nerd out and screen share and make sure yours is set up. Cause I was able to get mine. Like I went out to your personal page and it wasn't out there. Cause I was going to go try to share it to mine so I could share it back to Chimney World. It's goofy.
You see it on my personal page? I see it on my personal page. I see it in Chimney World. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Maybe I'm on a different Chad Murray's page and there's somebody pretending to be you. Although it appears to be your family, so they're really they're real deep if they're pretending to be you. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, it's
or maybe you're not Chad Murray. Maybe they're the real Chad Murray and you're a fraud.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't get it because I see it, and then I have other people saying that they don't. I pull it up on my phone, it works. No one else in the world sees shit. So
it's being weird. Yeah.
So we'll see how that all plays out anyway. But anyway,
it's just another I have this love-hate with social media. Not a huge fan of it, but I have a podcast. I have a show. We have an audience, and so I get the need for social media. But this is just another strike. This is another strike for me against social media.
I don't even get why in the hell did they take the group thing away? That's so stupid.
I don't understand the rationale. I'm sure somebody somewhere that's getting paid too much has a reason for it, but I don't like.
I'm gonna have to do Facebook Lives.
So what I ended up doing is you can still go to a Facebook page, just not a group. So you can have your group and have the group owned by a page and then go live to the page. So people that like the page can see it there. And this is just like a thing I found anyway. Like more people just follow Dan, and I don't do any personal stuff on my Facebook page. Like once in a while, a little grip and grin with a big whitetail, maybe. Or a fish picture or something, or like something with my kiddos. But like, I don't personally, I just don't do social media much. And so my personal page is pretty much me out drinking beer with business owners anyway. And so I just go live there, and there's more people engaging on my personal page than there are in my group for Home Service Happy Hour. So it's like, they're going to find me anyway. I just end up using my personal page like it's a business page. So
I think most of my Chimney World people are friends with me, but they're not. I mean, we have 1,800 people in Chimney World.
Yeah.
I'm not friends with 1,800 people.
Not yet, you're not.
Not yet. You're right. There's positive thinking right there. Not yet. But still, I need to figure. I mean, I'll probably just start doing Facebook Lives because that's easy. You can do a Facebook Live from a group.
The thing I like about StreamYard though is you can go live in so many places, right? You can get it to YouTube, you can get it to LinkedIn, you can get it to wherever the hell you want. I don't know that groups serve a grand purpose unless like somebody's really in there and engaging.
Our group is big time engagement. So
but I think
I get 150 to 200 people watch the show every week.
Yeah, and I think you could do the same on a page. I don't know the ins and outs of groups versus
this thing was
pages.
done under my name, Chad Murray's Facebook group as Chimney World. So I don't have a business page that this is hosting on.
But you can create one, and then you can change the ownership of the group to be underneath the page, and then it's all right in the same spot.
Then that's why you came on. So that's what I'll probably end up doing. Next week I'm in Mexico, but that's probably what we should do.
I also want to be clear. I don't know how to do any of that. I just know that's what Jairus did for me to get my.
I know how to do that. Actually, I actually know how to do that. So,
dude, combined, our superpowers combined.
I'll create a Chimney World page. I'll then change ownership to the page.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saying that if I go live in the page, it shares in the group.
I think you can go live to the page. I think the people in the group. I don't know. Now I'm just making shit up. I think it still makes sense to go live to you personally and then share it to the group. And that's the one thing I was going to jump on, but I can't see it.
I'm doing that, but it ain't working. So I mean, watch this. So come on.
Here we go.
So, that right there is my personal feed, and see that's the personal.
Oh yeah, and it did not show me
that's
that.
Chimney World, and it's on there live, but everybody in Chimney World is messaging me.
Yeah,
it's not working.
I agree with everybody else that on my end I couldn't see it. There's something. You might have to do it from your phone. You might have to change the privacy settings from your phone. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But right now I got to go drink somebody else's beer.
All right. Well, thanks for
coming on, somebody else's beer. Good to see you, man.
Okay.
All right. Check you later.
Yeah. Bye.